Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Conscious Living Show. My name is Patricia, and this morning I've got a beautiful guest joining us from Brisbane in Queensland, and her name is Kelly Kingston. And welcome, Kelly. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Patricia.
Sorry, that was a bit of a delay. So I'm just going to do a little intro about your background because Kelly's known in the wellness industry as the BizQueen. And there's a reason for that because she's got her finger in lots of different pies. Besides being an international multi-award winning woman in business, she's also a global film producer. She's set up a charity, and she's also a wellness practitioner. And not least, but probably the best part, which we're going to talk about later, is that she's the author of a book which is called What Frequency is Your Business Vibrating At? And it's a business guide that brings spirituality and business together in alignment with the heart to transform business from 3D to 5D. So we've got a lot to talk about, and I think we might get started with the charity. So you set up a charity which is called One Purse, One Planet, which I love. It's a fantastic name. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so a quick little story. When I was a little girl, my parents didn't often take us to restaurants, but when they did, it was like really lovely, and I just loved the napkin on for your lap and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the evening, so many people would have food left over. And I don't know, I was really emotional back when I was, I think it was about 7, I recall. And I used to say to my parents, well, where's all this food going, Mum and Dad? There's, and I was doing 40-hour famines at the age of 7 because I knew that there were other people starving in other countries. And they go, it will probably just go in the bin, love. And I'm sort of like, well, if like there's 50 tables in this restaurant, and if there's leaving just as much food as we are, that could feed a little community. So like I couldn't grasp that. So for the whole of my life, I'm just going, my gosh, where are we at? And I had questions, and nobody could answer these questions. Cut a long story short, I'm now in my 40s, and 5 years ago, I spoke to my partner, my husband, and I said I wanted to start a charity organisation. It's been one of my lifetime passions on this planet. And he goes, well, what does that look like? And so we shared a story, and it took a couple of days, and he's a chartered accountant, so he, needed to know exactly what everything was and my hairy, bourgacious goal for, my mission here on Earth. And yeah, so we started it up, and the name just came to me, One Purse, One Planet. I wanted to make it generic and support humanitarian projects worldwide.
So what sort of projects have you been supporting through the charity?
Yeah, so we have currently at the moment, we have the Heal Yourself Expo, which we'll be talking about a little bit later on, and that's an educational expo for health, wellness, spiritual and fitness business people that are in that industry to want to be able to support education for your healing journey. We also have the Green Earth Vision Project, which is a decentralization village training hub, activation center, and futuristic sustainability centers. And so what this is it's like if somebody's wanting to create a community, these guys come in and do all the infrastructure. They do all the planning of sites, water, gardens, all that kind of stuff. So we're working with these guys. One of my favourites is New You, the Empowered Youth Program for the Real World, and that's the one I won my international awards for in New York. And that was absolutely amazing. And that's a job readiness project for youth for high schools. And then we have Inspired Living Events, which is the film documentary events business that rolls out film documentaries, workshops and retreats that support the films for the evening that we're actually screening. We have Earth Nation. Earth Nation is an alternative systematic solution for social welfare and planetary sustainability by providing scalable and reusable recycling equipment and completing decentralization systems for communities, business, politics, and economics.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some really beautiful people we're working with that are putting in place different systems so that if anything happens, we have systems to put into communities pretty well much straight away. And we're also working with the Rett syndrome. Now, that is a neurological disorder that people can get. It's a disease for different aspects of their muscles are not built properly. They can't walk properly. They can't talk properly. And they have different levels. Yeah. There's some critical and some are not so critical. So there's an event coming up and we're actually sponsoring that event in Brisbane at the moment. So we support other charity organisations that are in and around our area that don't have the registered charity status with the ACNC in here of Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm amazed that you can do all of that and still be taking on more projects. As I talk to you regularly, there's always something new coming. So how do you keep yourself going?
Yeah, so I don't manage all those projects. So the people that come to us saying, can we use the charity organisation as an umbrella charity and become a project of the charity organisation, they're the project managers that manage that project. I oversee it, different aspects of it, and then we do strategizing around that as well. But I'm not predominantly the project manager because it's not my thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just there to support it, to give them a vehicle or an entity to be able to utilise to get from one space to the next space. Yeah.
So I'm fascinated because you seem to have the ability to set up systems and ways of structuring these projects so that you can give birth to a whole lot more initiatives without being bogged down in the management or the detail of them, which I think is it's a great gift to have. And you must have a really good network of people that of collaborators that enable you to get these projects off the ground, which is exciting. Yeah.
It is. It's very exciting, Patricia. I do. I have a huge network behind me in, people that are showing their unique talents and what they're good at, and not reinventing the wheel and not trying to do it ourselves, because that's only when we try to do things ourselves, we're only going to get burnt out, and we don't want to get burnt out. We only want to do the things we love. And you and I have had this conversation numerous times.
We have.
Yeah. So it's just following your heart, and people come when you need them. Honestly, I've not had to wait very long for people. If I need something in my business or somebody to connect me with somebody, or to talk about where you're at and how you're stuck, or if you are stuck, or networking and collaborating is amazing.
Yeah, you seem to be really proficient at networking and, jumping into new networks when you need to as well. So are there any sort of tips that you can give people about that? Because I know that we do live in a social world now. You know, we live in a world that everything is connected. But sometimes you do get bogged down, you know, in your own little realm,
Yeah,
perhaps, or
you
comfort
do.
zone even. So you seem to be able to cross over those boundaries with ease and not perhaps be limited, we could say, by where you've been or what area you're working in, but you cross over. I guess business is a platform for that as well, because it enables you to have connections with people who are not necessarily into wellness and spirituality, but they are into other aspects of business and transforming and making change on the planet.
Yeah.
So any comments about that, or how you do it, or what?
So I really research the events that I go to before I actually go to them, just to make sure that they're my right fit, and to this could be somewhat a little bit cheeky, but sometimes people are hiding their guest lists, and if there's somebody that I want to connect with and I know that they're going to be there, I will attend and support that event. I always share the event on my timeline or in my own private groups with other people that I really feel that people are going to benefit from. You can't go to all of them, of course. And, you know, I'm a mum of 4. So really having to strategically pick the events that I go to is one of the biggest, you know, things you have to do before you go, because you don't want to waste your time in going to something that's not going to benefit you in the long run at all. So research is the key.
Research is the key. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And knowing why you're going to the event too, Patricia.
Yes.
You need to know why you're going to the event.
I think that's what's, just from my observation, I see a lot of people who go along to events, networking events, just to go there and be there, but they don't really seem to have a clear purpose, or perhaps what I notice is that nothing really tangible actually transpires from that participation, if you like. It becomes a social, or I don't know, it's not really making progress, I guess. I'm always looking for, you know, if you go to something, what more could be created or co-created out of that experience and those connections that were made.
Yeah, so I know what you're saying. A lot of people that are going to networking events are on a searching for something, and they don't know what they're searching for, because they're missing something in their business, but they're not sure about what they're missing in their business. So they think that if they go to this event and then this event, it's the answer that they're needing. And you know, again, you and I, we've really connected, and we've had this conversation on a general basis of people are stuck in their businesses because it's so heavy for them to carry, and they can feel in their heart what they want to do in their business. They just don't know how to implement it, but are feeling that business that's been done for the last 100 years is slowly dwindling away because it's no longer serving people coming from a higher consciousness level. Okay, business is being created from a mind aspect, and that's not, you know, mindfulness and being in the mind and having a mental illness are 3 totally different topics. So when people say you need to, you know, think about things and be in your mind and work it out and just do it, people just don't understand just do it. They need to be guided, because they feel what they're good at is, oh my gosh, this lights me up. I want to jump out of bed and I just want to do this because it's it's something I've been dreaming about for so long, and I've just been going to work 5 days a week, 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 7, 6 till 10, whatever the case may be. And they've got in the back of their minds, they're driving in traffic and they haven't had breakfast yet, and they're throwing down a can of Coke or a coffee or something, and their diet's up the crapper. And all they can see in their mind, in the back of their mind, is this beautiful space that they really want to embrace. How do they get there? That's the question. And so I have the answer, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Well, I think we could perhaps touch on it now, actually, because I think you're putting your finger on the core element, which is that whatever inspires you, whatever you know, in your I guess innocent joy and celebration of life, connect to. And then, you know, to turn that into a business, you know, in the current paradigm and what we have been experiencing, people often lose that initial kind of vision and connection. And I think that's where you've come in with the book, and how you've created a model, a system for aligning your individual. Yes. There it is. What frequency is your... So it's how to translate that frequency that is in your own inner being into your actions and into the structure of how you actually roll that business out into the world. And I don't think there's been enough attention placed upon that, because we all, you know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, soul enterprises and operating from the heart, but specifically, what does that really mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like it does need to be translated into some form of structure or processes in order to be sustainable, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Patricia. It certainly does. And, you know, some people, I say, predominantly people that, you know, are on their wellness journey and they're starting to step into their business, but they don't really know how to do that. And so they've got their Facebook page, they've created a somewhat of a logo or you know, a nice picture in the background with writing over the top, and they're trying and they're doing their best and stuff like that, but they're just getting stuck because they don't know who to ask. They don't want to ask traditional people that, you know, are accountants and somebody that's going to charge an arm and a leg to be able to, you know, set their whole businesses up, which is, you know, crazy. Like, people are charging $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to help people set their businesses up. And they need to know that they're the right people to work with. Like, you need to interview these people. Not just go, oh yeah, you'll do. I heard that you're great, but you know, what's good for somebody else is not necessarily going to be good for you. Yeah.
So how did you bring that information through? And can you tell us a little bit about the book and about the system that you've outlined? Because it's based on the chakras, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So it's the ultimate business guide for wellness leaders. What frequency is your business vibrating at? And so when I was understanding business, I didn't understand it. I never did. Even like tax and all that kind of stuff, you know, even like before meeting Graham and everything, I'm just like, why do they make it so hard? And why do you have to keep receipts and put it in a document and then hand it to a bookkeeper and then the bookkeeper then have to hand it to the and like it's just mind-boggling, and the accountabilities and money and bank accounts and you know what, it was like, oh my gosh, that's like, I can taste that and it just tastes terrible. So I was on a journey to understand. Being a practitioner of 20 years myself, I was on a journey to really understand business. Like, I could then really embrace what that means so that I could then translate it and put it into different terms and different understanding that people like you and myself that are that heart conscious based unconditional loving beings on this planet that wants to serve and be in front of people and give them another way that's just going to make it easy, effortless, understanding without even second guessing it. Well, maybe second guessing it twice, get it in, and repeating it. So it took me probably after I met Graham. He had an accounting practice and then sold that one and then brought over his predominant clients, and then we started up our own accounting practice together. And I just was working in there and just, sussing it all out. Like, this was all new to me. I've never been in an office and stuff like that, but I was so keen and I was so eager and I was like a sponge. I just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And I was asking questions like left, right, and center. Well, what's that mean? How does that look? And what's that structure? And how does that structure work? And what's a trust? And what sort of trust? And there's all these trusts and international entities and international banking systems and all this stuff. And I just 3 years of researching and reading ATO documents and understanding law documents that support legislation and a whole heap of things, charity organisations, non-for-profits, what's the difference between a charity, all that stuff. And so once I actually got my aha moment, which was 3 years into the accounting practice, I've gone, oh my gosh, I got it. I really understand. And it took me so far away from myself, Patricia. It was unbelievable. And so once I actually found out, I could actually just really start to relax and relate to, why did they make it so hard? Really? Why do you have to go to university and do business 1, business 2, business 3, business 4, business 5 and all these other businesses when it's really kind of simple to do business with somebody that just made it extremely hard and heavy, because it's really heavy. And they put words in there that you need to look up in the Oxford Dictionary and then break the word up because the word doesn't exist in there. Like, holy moly, who does that?
Yes.
People that are wanting, anyway, people are wanting to hide something for whatever reason to make it harder for the next person. So anyway, cut a long story short, I thought to myself, okay, I really, really, really want to help and support and be in service for the wellness industry, wellness leaders that are wanting to stand up and be in a heart-based conscious business and be there to support them. And so how was I going to do this? So I then put this together, the chakra systems, and 13, because I had 13 chapters, and then started from the Earth Star chakra and working our way up to the Divine Gateway chakra up through into the operations. So people go, Kelly, are you a coach? Are you a mentor? I'm like, I'm none of those. I'm not a mentor and I'm not a coach. I'm an educator for wellness businesses to build a solid foundational structure for their business. So what does that mean? So that means I support them in creating, not just creating a business plan, but creating the values, the vision, the mission, the objectives, the strategies, the structures, the program, your ideal client, your biography, your philosophy, and then I touch base on how you're going to roll that out into your operations. So what people are missing in their businesses today, no one is doing this from at the ground roots up, is creating a solid bedrock structure for their business so that they know that it is 100% secure. And then from there, they can then do the all the bells and whistles. You can do your branding, you can do your marketing, you do your sales, you get in and work with other people that are where you want to be to get you in front of your ideal client. So by bringing in the chakra systems and creating this amazing platform, because it's so amazing, okay, getting out of your head and stop thinking about processing, because it's not about that anymore. That's the old way of doing things. Sure, you still need to think. We've got a brain. We still need to use it. But if we're not tapping into our life purpose, our journey for why we're actually here, why we need to be in front of people, why we synchronistically tap in, and how we met Patricia and other people that are going to be in our lives for the rest of our lives because we resonate with them so much. If we can't create our businesses from that heart aspected place, we cannot fulfill our purpose here on this earth. And that, yes. I know.
Yes, I totally agree with you, because I mean that's been the frustration of, I think, the whole New Age movement, and the what I've seen over the years in my 30 years of being an organizer of expos and consciousness events, is that there was a real, innocence and beauty in the initial exploration of awakening, and it became hijacked by other agendas. I think of people felt that they then had to transfer all of that into a traditional business, to make profit, to build up a personal brand, and but it was very much ego based, and it wasn't really about collaboration. It wasn't really about let's help one another. It was more about well, what can I do to make the most of this opportunity? And so it kind of besmirched, I think, and really tainted that initial movement. And now I think we've realized that we've got to come back to the truth of the value of what we all believe in terms of helping humanity to awaken and helping the planet, to sustain our planet, our beautiful planet. But we need structures, we need processes, we need ways of doing this that are going to be effective enough to counteract the forces that are working against us, the corporate players in the world, if you like. And it feels to me like we met having this exact conversation, that we're all small players in a big world that's dominated by, corporations that don't have the best interests of everyone at heart.
Unfortunately, yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And it is about translating, it is about embodying those, and this is where I think we can talk a little bit more about the shift from 3D to 5D. It is about shifting the whole physical reality as we are currently experiencing it, and we are going through this change and this shift, this transition. And it's bringing new ways of creating an economy and a society into being, isn't it? Because we can't use the old structures.
So
do you think we can continue to use the same sort of legal, structures of ownership, and that's because they don't seem to be very open or fluid and open to collaboration, cooperation, and change. They seem to be very much based on a very finite, sort of heavy kind of fixed form. They're not very flowing.
No, and they're very regulated, so they can't flow. do you know what? This is it can get rather complex talking about it, because there's other organizations that are massive corporations. They're making billions and trillions in the world, and their businesses are flowing. But what's happening is we're coming from a 3D, 4D, 5D. So our energetics of our body in our physicality body is going to be raising the frequency. The frequency, it's just you some people say, oh, I can't feel the frequency, but it's there. It's universal. People go, oh my gosh, I've got a headache, or I've got this, or something like that. It's the energetics. Okay. If you're not drinking enough water, of course you're going to dehydrate, so you're going to get a headache, or there's other aspects of it. So if we are not conscious about how we are feeling within our body and raising our frequency, okay, because we have to move with the times, okay? Our body is raising the vibrational energies of our physicality, and if we are stuck creating a business that is not raising its frequency, it cannot be sustainable. It just cannot be. I've done so much research around business and energy and energetics and the 3D, the 4D, and people go, what is the 4D? I don't hear much about the 3D to 5D. What's happening in 4D? We'll talk about that in a second. So bringing the chakra systems to me when I was doing all my pros and cons and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it and all that kind of stuff seemed like a no-brainer, because when we're raising our frequency, we go through the chakra systems and we're aligning the foundation of our business. And then as we're aligning ourselves, we're aligning our business. So we're raising the frequency of ourselves and our business in sequence with each other in equality to the highest form of vibration that the book goes to for the foundational education of your business. And that is to bring you and your business into complete alignment together, so that the business is not here and then you're up here, or your business isn't up here and you're down here. So bringing them together through the chakra systems was the only way that I could possibly have wrapped my thoughts and my heart feelings and everything that I was feeling at that particular point in time together to make sense. And just to sweeten the deal a little bit, I created 13 mantras. And the 13 mantras are supporting each chapter and each chakra system through the process of the book. So when you get to the first chapter, you listen to the first mantra before you actually read the first chapter. And then when you finish the first chapter, you then listen to the second mantra, and so on and so on and so on. And what that does, it gets you out of your head and into your heart, so that you can then co-create or create your business from a heart aspected place. I have only had raving reviews of every time I put somebody in front of me to do a workshop or retreats or anything like that. They just go, oh my gosh, this is something that I didn't know that I needed, or I knew I needed it, but I didn't know how that looked or who was going to deliver. And there's no advertising. It's completely new, never been done before on the face of this planet. So 3D and 5D are two different aspects. One's based in the mind, one's based in the heart.
Yes.
Heart-based businesses are the way to conscious business progressing through the energetic fields and cycles and the universal energies that we're going through. And if you don't understand that, I suggest you do your research, because just like anything, we all need to do our research. people will say, oh, what a crock. I'm just like, that's okay. That's your opinion, and you're allowed to have an opinion. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. But sooner or later, it's going to happen. You know it. I know it. Everybody that's in that conscious awareness space of knowing where our planetary systems are, the vibrational shifts, and the whole solar system is shifting. And if you're not in a space of dropping all the ego, all the facade, all everything that no longer serves you, and you're wanting to be in service, because it's all about being in service. It's not about being the expert. It's not about being here or being there or whatever. You know, people say you have a book, you become the expert, but I don't know, that's not kind of just sitting well with me at the moment. You're only an expert for this amount of time because you're growing. And you know, I'll have another book in a year or two, or maybe not. I might do something else, and it might be completely different, because we're all here to do different aspects of our journeys together. Yeah.
So can you give us an example of some of the correlations between the chakras and aspects of your business, and maybe an example of some people that you've worked with? Yeah.
Okay, so some of the people that I've worked with, oh my gosh, I've worked with a lady, I'll show you actually. Let me just hang on 2 seconds.
So Kelly, if I can just recap, and just my understanding of what you've been saying is that actually, because of we're in this transition, and there's a bombardment, or there's a whole activation of frequencies and energies that are affecting us all, that we actually are needing to be really aligned internally with who we are, fully, with whatever we're doing, whether it's a business or a career or being a mom or being a student. It's like we're being called upon now to really align much more with who we are as, I guess, when we talk about spirituality, we talk about consciousness, but if we can be a bit more specific about what that means, and we talk about energy bodies, there's a lot of, I think, there's a lot of confusion out there about what that actually means to people. So yeah, I think it's important to, give clear examples and relate it to actual situations so people can see how it's working in practice, in practical terms. So maybe you can do that and share some of that with us, because otherwise it just sort of ends up staying in this sort of woo-woo space where it's not really something that, people listening can actually absorb or understand.
Okay, so as you were asking that question, I was putting the headphones in my ears and I didn't get the first part of the question. Can you just say that first part again for me, please, Patricia?
I guess if you could give us an example of what it means to align your frequency with your business. So I understand you're talking about that we all have chakras, and people may not know what chakras are, but they're energy systems in the body that are related to aspects of our consciousness, if you like.
It's our consciousness and our being, because we have the chakras that are connected to different parts of our body, and they're away from us. But if we have a blocked chakra, people say, I feel sick all the time, or I feel bloated, and it could be due to eating, dietary. I had really heavy belching. Like I would feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I had indigestion all the time. And I would go to the doctor before I kind of knew that I could do something else and go to see other people. And he would say, well, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with you at all.
Yeah.
And I've just gone, well, how come I'm in pain though? I'm continuously in like I have this blockage or something, and I didn't understand what that was. And so then I'm still like me, the researcher, like I just kind of, what does this mean? I'm just like, okay. So typing away, feeling like I've got this, blockage or indigestion in my systems. And then I would scroll down and I'd like say, energy. So I was like, what does that mean? And then we'd go into it where it goes, okay, so you could have a blocked chakra, or internally you could be externalizing energies by going from one energy to the next, but not knowing how to release it. And this is what happens. We're kind of getting into some deep stuff, and some people will get it and some people won't. But if I walk into a really big room with lots of people, I kind of feel somewhat overwhelmed, and I will hold a lot of energy within me. And then when I leave that room, it's releasing different aspects of the energies so I don't get scrambled. So I don't go, oh my gosh, holy crap, that was so overwhelming. Whoa, I need to just go over there and I just need to be by myself for an hour. Just leave me alone. I just can't handle this anymore. I'm so sick of that person and that person and that person. They think they're so much better than anybody else. But here you are. You need to be still. You need to come into you so that you don't go into their spaces and you don't criticize other people, because as soon as you start to criticize, you're swapping energies. It's an energy exchange and you're getting sucked in like a vortex into that energy, and that's where you get at dis-ease with your body. As soon as you're not sitting right with you, the body is then going, whoa, what's happening here? And the dis-ease, then if you keep holding that in your body for long periods of time, will then turn into a disease.
Yes.
So did I explain your question?
Maybe you could just give us an example of you're going to share with us someone who you've been working with and who's made some changes and
so one of so there's been a lady and she creates these amazing, beautiful sprays. Okay, so she uses light language, essential oils and frequency water that she then has plates that she sits the water on that have a special code to help people through the energetic shift cycles that are happening. Now, this particular lady, she was so stuck in her business, she was about to throw the whole business away. And she couldn't see the forest between the trees because she felt so overwhelmed and a whole heap of other things. So what we did is we peeled back all the layers. Like she had a website that didn't serve her. She thought that was the right way, and a whole heap of other things. And she went to this seminar and that seminar and spoke to this person, and they're saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. But what happened is she had so many people telling her what to do. She was grasping at little bits and pieces, but she didn't have the foundation right for her conscious business, because her frequency is up and down like a yo-yo, because she's in and out of the both 3D, 5D, because she didn't know how to cross over to grow her business from a heart aspected place. So once we pulled everything back and we started to build it from the ground up, and she got out of her head and into her heart. She's a corporate woman, been in the corporate industry 30 years, so she's only doing what she knows. but she was stuck. And no joke, when she finished the 3-day workshop with me, and she's going, Kelly, that was awesome. She goes, I've never had anybody help me get my business back to where it needed to be so that I could then step back and go, I see it. I get it. I have clarity. I have focus. And now I have direction on what I want to do in my business. And from there, her business is now going international. She's created new products to go into that. She is doing talk shows. She is in people's faces all the time, and she's just going great guns. So that's one of my many clients that is just going amazing. And all my testimonials are on my website and blogs and on my Facebook pages, and everyone's there just doing their thing.
So you're coming out to Perth, and you're going to be talking at Conscious Living Expo about transitioning your business from 3D to 5D.
Yes.
And you're going to be introducing some of the precepts in the book, aren't you, about frequency and how to align yourself with your business, how to elevate the frequency. And then you're going to be doing a workshop after the expo on the Tuesday. So in that workshop, will you be delving more into the detail of how business people, it's particularly aimed at business people, isn't it, and practitioners who are in the health and wellness industry. So it sounds to me like it's really important for a lot of practitioners who aren't really thriving at the moment, because there's a lot of challenges with the economy at the moment. People have limited disposable income, to really come along and open up and receive what you have to say, because this could mean a massive difference in, levels of income and well-being, and satisfaction and growth, expansion. Because I see that we have so much more potential than we're actually realizing. So it sounds to me like a system that will enable people to, build a solid foundation, and from that grow. And as you shared that example of the person who was developing those vibrational essences, that it's so much more can happen when you do come into alignment with those chakras.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
So do people, obviously you have the book available, people can work themselves with the book directly?
Yeah, so people can do, I actually had a couple of ladies last week contact me that have seen the ad on Conscious, on your Facebook page, Conscious Living Expo, and they've gone and bought the Kindle version and called me, and I've just gone through and given them the password for the mantras and everything like that. And they are so excited for me to come over just to share different aspects, because they're saying, oh my gosh, Kelly, this is so amazing. It really, really resonates with me. And I've gone, oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm so glad that you're getting so much benefit out of it. And then they go, are you going to do I saw your website, and I really would love to do the 3-day retreat. Are you going to be doing that while you're here? And I'm like, no, not this time, but we can organize a retreat, and that's no problem. So so I think it's going to be very well received in Perth. Patricia?
Yes, I'm excited. Yeah, so Kelly's coming to Perth for the October 25 to 27 Conscious Living Expo. You'll be giving a talk on Saturday afternoon, and it's going to be a Q&A forum around transitioning your business from 3D to 5D at 3:30 in the afternoon. And I'm looking forward to that, to bring a lot of my, our contacts in the industry and our friends and colleagues to come to that, because I think it's an opportunity to discuss and explore and share, as well as getting some good information. And then the follow-up workshop, which is on the 29th, from 9 till 1, will be a chance to really be with you and delve deeper into the content of the book. But it probably would make sense for people to get the Kindle version beforehand so that they're a little bit familiar with your system.
Yeah, so the Kindle versions, I think it's $9.95 or something. Yeah, it's not very expensive at all.
And what's your website? Where can people download the book from and see more about the workshops?
So workshops isn't it on the Conscious Living Expo Facebook page for the workshop that we're running in Perth? Or are you meaning over and above?
Yeah, your Wellness Academy website.
Oh, okay, yes. So the Wellness Business Academy is www.wellnessbusinessacademy.org, and all my information is on that website, so that you can go there, and we're doing one-on-ones, we're doing workshops, we're doing retreats, we're doing webinars, and catering for everybody that is, really wanting to be in that space.
Fantastic. So I'm just putting it up on the screen. Hopefully it's coming up.
Oh, there it is. Yes, I can see it.
Wellnessbusinessacademy.org. Well, Kelly, it's been fantastic.
So,
you've got so much that you could share, and we could go on for so long, but I think we could perhaps have another interview where we talk a little bit more about 5D and what your understanding of that is, because that's dear to my heart. And I just feel like this is the start of a lot of a real shift that we all can be very involved with and very excited about, and that you're reaching out to practitioners who are helping people to make that transition, through their health and wellness. And I think it's important that we do come together, that we do get to know more about each other and how we can help each other in this process and in this transition time. And I see you as a real catalyst and leader in co-creating that to happen. So I'm just so happy that you're coming to Perth.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I think it was meant to be, it was the universe saying, it's time. This event is I think it's it's a new beginning in many ways of us living and being in a new way, divinely inspired, and bringing through into the embodiment of business everything that we've always imagined could be possible. So it's fantastic that you're coming. And you're also organising other events next year, which are very exciting. There's going to be a World Wellness Expo on the Gold Coast.
Yes. That's actually coming together so amazingly. Just unfolding effortlessly, connecting with the right people. We've already got a sponsor on board. We've got speakers. We've got 53 exhibitors. And that's just growing. Oh my gosh. Yes. So the World Wellness Expo is all about education, predominantly education. So people providing an education for their products and services, and there's going to be no products at this expo. It's all about education. Where can people go to get more information about how they can heal themselves, and are they going to be the right people? So we're gonna have volunteers walking around supporting people that are coming to the expo to guide them to seeing people that they may not have thought that could have helped them, and getting them in front of people so that they can choose who they want through education.
Yes. That's wonderful. That's really exciting. And more than that, we're
Yeah.
also collaborating together with an online summit, which is going to be
Yes.
about 5D consciousness, and that'll be on the 12th of December. So we'll be seeing you on that summit, and there'll be lots of other speakers there to contribute. And it's all about education, I think, now. It is really about now recognising that the future for everything depends upon how we are not just behaving and living in the world, but how we're actually perceiving and being through our own individual consciousness and playing a part in the awakening of the collective. So there's so much to learn about, and there's so much to connect to. We're really lucky that we've got the internet and facilities like this.
I know. How cool is that?
Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to, it takes a little while if you get excited about finding something that you're really passionate about. It's like weaning your way away from it. It's like, oh my gosh, I've just spent so long in front of this computer. I've got to get out. I've got to get outside. I've got to have a drink. I've got to go and do something. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think we'll finish up there. We've been online for more than an hour now. So.
Oh my gosh. We said, how long did we say we're going to be on here for? 20 minutes. I've just gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. And thanks everyone who's been tuning in. So we'll be posting this up on the Conscious Living show. And thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you in person in Perth, October 25 to 27.
See you then.
See you then.